Welcome to the inaugural game of Streets of Peril on our channel. We will be playing the mission adventure story that is included in the core book. So anyone who intends to play in that in the near future, you might get a few spoilers here and there, but at the same time, you never know what GMs will do with stories. So don't be afraid to continue to watch, because I guarantee I almost never follow scripts, as some of the people who have played with me before know already. So yeah, so we're gonna jump into it. I've made pre-generated characters for everyone. We have Britt, who will be playing. Britt is Nikolaus Meyer, an enforcer for the Volker House in the city of Sternberg, where we will be adventuring today. He is on their payroll and does some work for them, usually in the physical capacity when it is required. We have Jake, who will be playing Klaus Palzani Volker, who's actually a nephew, although not directly, not first nephew, possibly second or third. It's difficult to say, of the house. So he is a member of House Volker, and he is also employed currently by House Volker as a lieutenant or man-at-arms. We have Tony, who will be playing Hamide Rashid, who is a emissary from the Zajic Steppes. She is a trained scout and janissary and has been hired by the house to fill that role for groups going out into the wilderness. And finally, we have Lucian Batev, who is Smoliani, ex-criminal, hopefully, although that remains to be seen. He was acting as a highwayman when he was unfortunately taken by the troops who were protecting one of House Volker's caravans in between Sternberg and the other cities in the region. And rather than sit and rot in prison, Otto von Volker, the head of House in Sternberg, saw his potential and offered him a job. Well, you could call it a job. He's indentured to work for the house until such time as he has recovered his or redeemed himself, at least in the eyes of the house. So those are our characters. Now, what are some of these names I've mentioned? House Volker is one of the largest noble houses in the city of Sternberg, which sits on the coast of the continent. House Volker has fingers in a lot of different pies. They have a standing military force that is sometimes used in defense of the city, particularly several decades ago during the border wars. They have been known to take part in the merchant trade. It may sound as we play that they're kind of like a mafia type family, but they're not. They're a noble house, and they are very respectable, and they are one of the most powerful houses in the city, next to House Krieger and House Steiner. That being said, sometimes they get into trouble, and that is where we begin today, as the 4 players have been sent for. Some may be in the house compound, some might be out in the city doing what they do in their off time, but they've all been called to a meeting with Otto von Volker, the head of house. And now I give it to all of you. You all know where the house is. Where are you in the city? Please feel free to be as descriptive as you want. This is a Renaissance city of some size, a port city. You all have some information about your characters, so let me know where you are. Describe yourself if you want to, and head towards the house when you're ready.
Will I go first?
Yeah, go on then.
Do I have to?
You said it, that's enough.
I will be in a tavern stroke brothel.
Okay.
I'll be getting skinful. So I'll be a little worse for wear.
Okay. So a messenger would have been sent. I would imagine that, having been employed by the house for some time, at least Otto, maybe not everyone, but at least Otto is aware of your proclivities, and so has sent runners to several different houses of questionable repute to search for Nikolaus, a well-known, very striking bald man with a head tattoo in the city of Sternberg. So runner shows up, and someone within the house that you're visiting interrupts you, as it were, and says that a runner from House Volker has arrived, requesting that you return to meet with head of house at your earliest opportunity.
Well, up from my seated position, and I will walk outside to a horse trough and dunk my head in it. Try and sober myself up a little bit. Can't imagine I'd be able to smarten myself up that much, but try and sober up. This could be some coin.
Right.
Important. So, and bring myself to my senses, and then I'll make my way to the meeting.
Okay. Who's next?
Yeah, I can go next if everyone's okay.
Go ahead, Dave.
So I will be in the local marketplace. I'll be browsing wares, walking around, taking in the city. I'm not used to cities. I'm more used to sort of towns and villages and the great outdoors, not cities. But occasionally, I'll be counting off, like, the number of purses that I let go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I'll take every 8th one, because 8 fingers. Thumbs don't count. So every 8 easy purses, I will try and take a swipe.
Specifically easy purses?
Oh, yeah. People who are basically completely sort of unawares of the fact that there is a master criminal somewhere in the city, and I might be working for him.
Okay, so why don't you give us our first skill roll of the game then, and give us a sleight of hand check.
Sorry. Clicked on the wrong bit of the interface, keeps dropping me back out to the... there we go. Right.
That's fine.
Yeah. So... right, so white dice. So...
let's double check. I'm looking at your character as we speak.
I would say sleight of hand.
Yeah, you're definitely rolling sleight of hand. I'm checking to see, so you are not currently in combat. And as a scoundrel, you have a trait called Schemer, where you roll red dice for all skill checks performed outside of combat.
Yeah. So, how many dice is that?
So as far as how many dice, your sleight of hand is 2, your agility is 3, so yeah, you're rolling 5 red dice.
Wow.
More dice to fail with. And okay, spectacular cock up. Boom.
Sorry. Wow. Okay, so you succeed spectacularly. If you choose to, you can re-roll that 6, but to be honest, you have 4 successes there, which is certainly more than needed. Tell you what, why don't actually re-roll the 6 for me?
Oh, 5 successes.
5. Okay, so you have 5 successes. So roll 5 dice, and that's how many copper pieces you've managed to pilfer.
So another 5d6.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 14.
Wow.
Nice. So yeah, you managed to pilfer 14 copper pieces for yourself.
Cool.
Copper and let's see. So the exchange rate, just so we all are aware, is 10 copper is a silver, 20 silver is a gold crown in this game. So if that comes up, I will of course, remind you if need be.
I think this might be the first IMT game I've played where I'm actually allowed to sort of penny pinch.
Angie's not here, so you're good.
Right. So as you're wandering around the marketplace, considering your status as an indentured servant to House Volker, you are given leave to travel around in the city. There is, of course, an understanding because of your status that if you get caught doing anything inappropriate or anything of the sort, there might be issues within the house. And you also have to let the house know where you're going when you're going out on your own. So assuming that you're keeping with the deal with the house, which is a really good deal. I mean, they are paying you in addition to you being an indentured servant. Assuming you informed them when you went out that you were just going to market, a runner from the house will find you and request that you meet with head of house at your earliest convenience.
Fair enough. Well, I'll send the runner back with the empty purses. I'll just say, "Oh, I found these, by the way. Just hand them in."
Okay.
And then I will go to I'll go to a fruit stall and buy a copper's worth of apples in a bag or whatever.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll get you 5 or 6 probably. Yeah.
That's fine. I figure, I'll come back with, I've been to the market. Look, I bought groceries.
Right. Okay.
Gonna commit crime? Cover yourself.
Right. Have a reason.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'll give you that. It's not right, but you're not wrong.
Right. Okay. So that brings us to, well, either Tony or Jake, whoever wants to go next.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think Hamid would. I think at this point she would be just traveling the city, occasionally going into a tavern or something for a drink, but trying to listen, because she's always trying to have her ear out, listening to what she might hear, what she might find, always listening out for certain things, whether she can find that thing she's looking for, whether she can find information about where she needs to be, where she needs to go.
Right. So your ambition has brought you to Sternberg primarily because you have heard rumors that the item that you seek is somewhere in the region. Not necessarily specifically in the city, but you definitely feel as if after several, years of searching, you are getting closer. That said, however, as you spend some time in one of the taverns near the house, nothing really comes up, which doesn't surprise you. I mean, you're definitely in this for the long game. You haven't been, this is a quest you've been on for several years, so you're not expecting the item that you're attempting to procure to just fall into your lap.
No.
You do also note, though, as you spend some time in the tavern. Well, let me ask: are you wearing anything that would indicate that you're currently employed by House Volker?
I think it would depend what they would hand out, I guess. If it's like brooch or anything.
There could be several things. Yeah, I mean, there might be a brooch or a sash or something like that. There are house colors, of course, as well, but, just wearing certain colors doesn't necessarily mean you're a member of the house, but it's up to you if you're wearing some kind of identifier and making it noticeable.
I think...
Because I will tell you, let me make sure you understand why that's important. So as a emissary from Zajic, you're not always seen in the best light by people in the Empire. Mainly because your people invaded about 40 years ago and attempted to take several of the cities. This is not one of them, so there's not quite as much of that negativity, and in fact there is an embassy for Zajic in Sternberg, but the general people, the common people, if they see that you're clearly someone of Zajic descent and they don't see any indication that you're working for a house or that you have reason to be there, they might be a little bit standoffish.
I think... See, I think for me it would be probably... Because I have my cloak, if it was a brooch, I would, use it to, clasp it closed.
Sure.
Kind of thing, but it's not I'm not actively having it on show. If it gets covered by mistake, it gets covered, but it is there. If anything were to
you're not walking around hey, look at this, but you are wearing it. Okay.
Yeah, so if somebody was to really try and weigh me up, they would eventually notice it, but it's not straight away noticeable.
Okay. Again, people are a little standoffish when they first see you, but you notice some people notice the emblem, the house regalia, as it were, and while they're more willing to communicate with you, like I said, you're not getting any leads. There's not really any indication, unfortunately. But it is important that you are attempting to find some information, and here's why. This is a good point to bring this up. In Streets of Peril, characters have ambitions, and I've put some ambitions for each of you on your character sheets that I thought, fit that character and would work for the short, 3-game kind of campaign, I guess, we'll have. Ambitions can, of course, be changed. But one of the interesting things that I particularly like about the system is that your ambitions determine how you gain experience in this game. So if you, during a game session, if you work towards one of your ambitions, that's how you get experience. So you'll get a certain amount of experience at the end of that session for having worked towards an ambition. If you succeed at one of your ambitions, as you'll notice, all of your ambitions are fairly long-term. Then you get a much larger amount of experience. And then, of course, like in most role-playing games, there are, there's kind of you get a certain amount of experience for having played and so on and so forth. As far as what experience is used for, well, in Streets of Peril, it's not a level-based system. Instead, as you accrue experience, you will then spend a certain amount of experience to, say, buy increases to your skills or purchase new special traits. So you kind of develop your character as you choose after character creation. There's no limitations barring some prerequisites for certain abilities and whatnot. So definitely working towards one of your ambitions there. That's fantastic. As you're kind of... what's the word I'm looking for? Just, touching base with people and engaging with people in the tavern, asking questions here and there and just listening. You do notice after a short while that there is a page from the house who is kind of trying to get your attention, not wanting to intrude but is kind of very poignantly making eye contact with you.
Okay. I think I'd be the type of person to just let them stew. Because if they're not coming up to us, then that's fine. But let them stew a bit, and then eventually just like fine.
No, so if you make eye contact and you just kind of keep going about your own business, eventually they do come up to you and, miss, I'm so sorry. And they, tell you the same thing. The head of house would like a word, earliest convenience, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Okay. Like okay, and then just like they're gone again.
Yeah. All right, Jake. What is Klaus up to?
Klaus is actually at the house since he's a member of the family, and he's addressing Otto at this point.
Okay.
Otto, we can't be associated with these types of people. We are a great Cimbrian house. I mean, what would House Krieger or House Steiner think of us? We'll be the laughing stock. I mean, this Nicholas guy, he's a complete lowlife. He works in the shadows. This is unbecoming of us. We don't... Do you know that he's more often found out carousing, and it does not bring a good name to this house at all. If anybody were to find out that we've employed him, we'll be the laughing stock for just associating with that type of person. And don't get me started on this Lucian guy. I mean, do you know that he's not only this highwayman, this robber, this abject criminal? He believes he only has 8 fingers. He says it's because his thumbs don't count, but the truth is he can't count higher than 8. He's a complete idiot, and he has no place being here. He's of absolute no use, and he's just going to get us into trouble. You mark my words. And now this Hamidy. Yeah, sure, she's Hamidy here, but she's from a barbaric clan. Do you know that her real name, pronounced, is Hamidi Rashid? I mean, you can't trust these barbarians. Now you're having her scout on behalf of us? There's plenty of great Symbian people here that we could use and trust. And this is just an outrage. And I'll give you a chance to respond before I go to part B.
So, Otto is just like looking at you, and he's kind of bemused. He does have a bit of a smile on his face, which may be what gives you pause. But he holds up his hands. He says, please. Look, I understand that you're trying to look out for the house, and I appreciate it. But you have to be aware that sometimes there are things that we need to do that are not best done in the light of day. And so someone like Nikolaus can be very helpful when the will of the house needs to be enforced. Lucian is a useful tool and hopefully can be molded into a very effective soldier for us. And Hamide, she came to us. She's a representative from the embassy, and no matter what you feel about the Zadrik people, they are accepted within the city, and someone of her talents, we will be fools not to employ her.
Otto, I've always respected what you've said, and I will always follow what you tell me to do. If you tell me that this is what I have to do, but I will. But I really believe that we could be operating differently. I mean, we are a noble house. This only brings risk of shame onto our home, our name, and if these activities are found out that we're associating with people like this, we will be the laughing stock. And I just need to go for a walk. I'll be okay. I'm just gonna go out for a walk. And
well, actually,
yeah.
So he stops you. He says, I would prefer if you remain, because this might surprise you, but I have a meeting with the same 3 people you've just mentioned, and I want you to be a part of that meeting.
I'll be back in time. I'll be back. I'm just gonna go clear my head, and I'll be back in time. And I think as I step out and get air, in my mind, I'd like for Nick Nicholas to be, coming towards the front door at the same time. And I'm just going to be walking in as I pass him, I'm going to... Nicholas, you smell like a horse's ass! Oh, go through the servant's entrance in the back. Get yourself cleaned up. My God, what did you do? You dunk your head in a horse trough or something? You stink.
Yeah. I need to dry off. I'm just sopping that through.
Jeez.
So
we'll take my short walk and go back in.
You're saying that to Nicholas, but what you might not see if you continue on your walk, but Nicholas certainly does, is that the guards at the front gate of the house show Nicholas some deference and say, "Oh, Herr Meyer, please, Otto is awaiting you."
This house.
We'll go off to a side room to dry off.
Sure. In fact, if you think to ask, somebody can have fresh clothing brought to you.
Just a towel, a towel will do, just to dry off. I've got my uniform on, haven't I? So I'll be fine. I just need to dry my hair.
Is your uniform modified at all? I don't know why I'm picturing the sleeves have been torn off and it's still the house colors, the house gambeson, but no sleeves, tattoos on full display. That's what I'm picturing, but it's your character.
A bit rough and ready, yeah. I'm not
sure.
I'm not pristine.
Right.
Very rough around the edges.
So as Klaus or Palzani, who he also goes by, is his middle name. He might actually only give people his middle name. As he's walking away from the house, are either of Lucian or Hamide showing up?
Yeah, and I think as Lucian shows up, I'm gonna, just walk by and I'm gonna go like this. 9, 10.
But of course.
Yeah. Lucian, you actually have 11 fingers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 plus 5, 11.
That's wild.
Again, I'll just sort of cock an eyebrow and, of course. Look them at the corner of my eyes if it's I'm sure the punchline's going to hit any moment. And when it doesn't arrive, I'll just sort of carry on in silence. It's
and same thing. The men at the gate open the gate for you. Not quite as deferent to you because they do recognize you as an outlaw who's indebted to the house, but you've still been called upon.
I'll sort of nod to them with a smile. Morning, gentlemen.
They grudgingly nod back and give you the salute that they are supposed to give to members of house.
I'll try and return the salute, sort of, and carry on to the house. Sure.
The house is actually beautiful. It's 3 stories. It's painted white regularly, probably multiple times a week, considering the stormy weather of Sternberg. There's a low wall, which you've of course just passed through the front gate, and the courtyard is quite lush. There are even some fruit-bearing trees in the courtyard. The heraldry of the house, which I haven't actually set up yet, so maybe I'll have that for our next session, is prominently displayed above the the front gate, and the house colors are black and white, generally arrayed in a checkered pattern. And the guards are more than just for show. I mean, they are guards. They are trained soldiers. They're wearing half plate. They have halberds. House Volker takes itself and the protection of its house very seriously. And is Hamide showing up within time to see the much put out Klaus, or
after she got the message, she would have only waited a few minutes before actually setting off, because she wasn't being successful in the tavern where she was, so just head back. And she was quite close by, so.
All right. So then, as I pass by Hamide, she is a girl or woman, so I'm going to go, oh well, hello, Hamide, and I'm going to then give a bow, a proper bow of recognition. I guess you're also joining the meeting, so allow me to escort you in.
I'll do.
Probably watch out for Lucian. We have silverware set for 20. Let's make sure we don't have 19 by the end of the day.
You wound me.
Okay. I think once he bows, I won't do a proper courtesy, but just flare out the bottom of my cloak or something.
Sure.
And just oh, thank you, and go with him. Okay,
all right.
Walk away.
So, variously as you enter, you find yourself within a short period of time, giving you time to clean up in the case of Nicholas, or possibly drop off the quite legally purchased apples to the kitchen in the case of Lucian. You find yourself ushered into the study and workspace of Otto von Volker, and he is a middle-aged man. He's quite in his prime. Let me give you a picture so you have something to look at. I'll make it bigger. So that is Otto. He is sitting at his desk as you all enter, working on some ledgers. And as he notices you, he offers you all a seat. There are quite a few cushy leather chairs set up in front of the desk specifically, as he knew this meeting was coming. And as you all take your places, assuming you do so, he also comes around personally, I'll note, not sending a valet. He comes around personally with a bottle of wine and offers to fill a glass for each of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna politely refuse, and I'm on duty now.
Oh, okay.
And I will say to him, Uncle, how may we best serve the house?
Well, I do appreciate what you were saying earlier, nephew. And in fact, the protection of the appearance of the house, the reputation of the house, is in fact why I called all four of you here today. I have a matter that needs to be dealt with, and it's not something I would want to go to the local constabulary about. He heads back around to his side of the desk and he sits down heavily and takes up another bottle and pours himself a generous pour and takes a sip while it seems like he's considering how to tell you all this. And then he just kind of comes out with it in a rush. He tells you a story of how he met a young doctor not long ago, and this doctor showed promise, and given that House Volker has some more militant concerns, shall we say, They do operate a mercenary company. There is, of course, soldiers and whatnot. Wounds and injuries happen with some regularity, and Otto was looking for anything that he could do, any research, any ideas that he can improve upon to help out people in need, particularly people who have been injured. And a lot of you, particularly I would imagine Niklaus, considering what you do, you've seen some of the soldiers that have worked for the house. You've even, well, and Klaus would have seen this as well, Palzini would have seen some of these soldiers retire, and oftentimes they retire very young due to pretty serious injuries, lost limbs, things like that. And Otto has, at least in your experience, Jake, which is probably longer than the other players, he's always been concerned about his people. And so he's always looking for ways. The house does support them. People don't just retire and they're not taken care of. The house does support them, but he's looking for ways to help people more. So he tells you of this doctor that he met in Griesdorf, a nearby city, which is known for its physicians guild. And he was made a lot of promises, and some of those promises included the regeneration of tissue. Some of those promises included the restoring of sight, the restoring of limbs in some cases. And Otto did what he had to do. He offered money. He offered him money. He offered him supplies. Unfortunately, it's come to his attention that things went bad. So one of the things that's important to note, and this will be particularly important to Lucian, is that magic is not a positively accepted thing in most of the cities of the continent. Yeah. So, in fact, in most of the major cities, it's outlawed. Yeah. So keep that in mind. We won't say why. But
Burn all witches.
Yeah, unfortunately, in general, most people who have had interactions with magic, it has usually been in the negative sense, and so has been largely, yeah, there have been witch hunts. There are, in fact, operating witch hunters. Now, there are several religious orders that exist, and some of those people who are high up in those orders have abilities, but those are seen much differently because they're bestowed upon them by the gods. Particularly for Hamide, you're not, yeah, the gods, right? Hamide is from a society that is super focused on their god, and to the point that if you want to be a part of the caliphates, you actually have to renounce any other gods that you've held and only follow their god. But you've seen that kind of spiritual power. I'm sure that Niklaus and Palzani have seen that kind of power in the local Sigurdan orders. Sigurd is the kind of god that most of the people on the continent follow. There's also some remaining older gods that some people follow as well. Whether or not any of you follow those gods really is up to you. At least for Hamide, you have to pay lip service when you are within the embassy and within the caliphate, because it's kind of expected that everyone does. Whether or not you actually hold that belief is totally up to you, and that's something we can talk about outside of the stream and go into more detail if we want to. But yeah, magic of a sorceress type is not good and not accepted. And Otto finally brings himself around to telling you that he was doing a short time ago, not recently, but he was kind of looking in on the good doctor and found some evidence that there was some necromancy at play. And he warned the good doctor. He said, gave him an ultimatum. You deliver on your promises. You follow the surgical, the scientific aspect of your research, and give up the necromancy and the magic, and I will continue to fund you. Otherwise, you're out. And as Otto finishes describing all of this to you, he says, that was a couple of weeks ago. I've had no word. And I assume at this point that Dr. Finkelstein has absconded with whatever remaining funds I'd given him and his equipment.
Are you sure it's not pronounced Finkelstein?
It might be. We can say Finkelstein if you like. I know I'm not good at pronouncing things the appropriate way.
It would have been corrected to the other way either way.
Right. I gotcha. Okay. Just role playing. I gotcha.
It all depends.
So-
Is there a squiggly mark above the E?
There isn't.
In fact, Finkelstein.
Okay, gotcha. So, he leans back after having, basically admitted to you that he's been funding a necromancer, unbeknownst to him. So, you probably have a pretty good idea about why he doesn't want to go to the local constabulary about looking into his disappearance. And Otto says, this needs to be kept in-house. I need you to find this man. And
well, dear uncle, I'm sure if any of us are caught doing any activities, we shall deny any association with this house whatsoever. We will deny that we've had this meeting. We will deny that we have been associated with this house or paid by this house. By penalty of death.
I can't agree with that so much, but
yeah, you will be working for me. There's no mistake there. But what I want you to do is I want you to apprehend this man and take him to a contact that I have in the docks. And then he will be taken care of. I also want you to return as much of the funds that he's been given as possible, or the equipment. I also loaned him a few tomes that he said would be quite helpful in his research. These are not mystical tomes. They're alchemical in nature. They're very rare, and I would like them back. Under no circumstances, once you apprehend the doctor, are you to bring him here to this estate. He is not to set foot on these grounds. He is not to be seen even nearby. You are to take him directly to my contact on the docks, and there he will meet his fate, we shall say.
Uncle, do you want us to deliver you his 10 fingers?
No. I do not need any part of him. I don't want any part of him near this location. That will be how we protect the house. If anyone inquires, you are hunting a criminal, not an ex-employee. And there's no indication to anyone, there's no paper trail that anything has been given to this man by the house or by myself. Everything was done in such a way that the house is clear. Just do not bring him here.
how much funds did you give this good doctor?
I'm ashamed to say that over the course of many months, I supplied him with several hundred gold. I assume most of it has been spent at this point, but any you can return or make an accounting for, as I said, equipment, anything that we can use. Obviously, if he had a laboratory, anything in the laboratory would be useful to us. You won't have to carry out an entire laboratory, but, mark it, let retainers know where it is. Speaking of, and he holds up his hand, and kind of out of the shadows, in one corner of the room, depending upon your perceptive abilities, you may have seen him before. You've certainly seen him around the house. A younger man appears, and his name is Frederick. As you all know, you've seen him around the house. He is a trusted retainer or personal man, I guess, of Otto. And he says, Frederick has been my go-between with Dr. Finkelstein. He knows where the laboratory was. He can lead you there to begin the search.
So he took.
Does the doctor
Go ahead.
the doctor have any bodyguards or guards? You working on his own?
Frederick actually speaks and says, all the times that I've engaged with him, he never had any kind of help, no.
By any chance, is the good doctor... Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing that accent now. Is the good doctor a native of the city?
No. The doctor is from Griesdorf. He is not a native of Sternberg.
So he'll know few people in the city then.
Yes, he likely won't know many people at all. And Otto speaks to this. He says, that's our assumption. The doctor seemed to keep to himself. He wasn't a very camaraderie type person. He kind of, once I began supporting him, as far as I know, he was always in his lab.
The fewer people he knows in the city, the better. Fuck. Doing the accent.
I like the accent. It's fine. Do it.
No, every time I do this every bleeding game. It's the name Lucian. Lucian, Bogdan, anything of that sort of. Not on stream. Right.
How much equipment did he keep while he was with you?
Otto looks at Frederick, and Frederick says, well, from what I saw at the laboratory, it was, roughly about the size of a small tavern. There were many different machines, some of which sparked with energy when he was engaging with them.
Witchcraft.
And Otto says, science, my dear boy. Science.
So he needed to find a very similar sized space, if not larger, because he took everything?
Well, I haven't had word, so I haven't gone to check yet. You'll need to go to his old lab to begin your search.
Okay.
And as I said, my man Frederick can lead you there.
Frederick, was there anything off with regard to this good doctor's mannerism the last time you paid him a visit?
He seemed flustered. Not surprising, considering his recent meeting with Otto about the necromancy.
Okay.
Well, let's go to this place. Let's find the clues that we need to know where the doctor is, and then let's be done with this foul matter.
Yeah.
Very well. As I said, you will be functioning for the house in this manner, but this is outside of most of your normal duties, so I will pay you an additional stipend. I'm willing to pay you as a group 5 gold. And in fact, if you can return the alchemical treatises to me, I'll pay a single gold piece for each treatise you return.
Seems good to me.
Okay. Seems fair.
Nobody wants to haggle?
As
don't know if
as
it's
the
good
well, not
or-
me. Certainly not with my house. I think he's way overpaying this group. Like to take that
5
from.
gold. It's 5
Yeah.
gold for the group, Jake.
I understand.
Not a
I think it's
piece.
way. Yeah, but that's like 25 silver a piece. I mean, think about it.
Man, 5 gold is nothing to House Volker. You've seen offers.
Don't worry, Uncle. And as the only living relative of this whole party, I shall take responsibility over our actions and lead us to the successful conclusion. You shall all abide by my decision when we're out in the field.
Oh,
We should. Should we?
I'll spit
Does
some
Nicholas
of
laugh
my
out
spit some of my wine out when he says that. How old is Klaus?
That's a good question.
You a boy?
I mean, at
Oh,
least
wow.
bar mitzvah age, I think. I would think. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Why you're 16?
Up to you.
Old enough to have these scars.
Yeah, you're a
the
trained
stash.
man at arms, so I would say at least in your 30s.
All right.
But
That's
yeah,
some young
he's
boy.
no. What's strange is Klaus and Otto are actually apparently in looks not that much different in age. But again, he's not a direct nephew. He's like second, third, nephew / cousin, whatever.
Yeah, he might
'cause
be more
Otto
of a
is not-
great uncle, but obviously I want to keep calling him uncle, not great uncle.
No, I mean, if anything, he's probably more likely a cousin than an uncle.
Oh, okay.
But since he's currently the head of house,
Yeah, the station.
it
with
would
the
be a
mountain.
little, yeah, right. So, at any rate, Otto says, if you excuse me, I have other things to look into, and he leaves, but Frederick is still present. And Otto says before he leaves, he's like, Frederick can assist you with anything else you require in order to achieve these ends. I trust all of you, which is why I've given you this task. Please do not make me regret my trust. And then he leaves.
Well,
Okay.
I'll finish off the glass of wine. Sort of.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's
I'll-
decent wine. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but it's decent.
But I'll make a show of sort of finishing it thoughtfully, as I'm thinking things over. Just dragging it out.
Well, let's be on with this. Frederick, how far is the laboratory from here?
Well, we initially assisted the doctor in constructing the laboratory in an old warehouse that has been unused for quite some time. It's down in the warehouse district, which, as you well know, and as you all would know, the warehouse district is actually fairly run down. There's a new warehouse district that is been kind of built up because there was something that happened in the old district. Nobody's really sure what. In fact, nobody's really sure why people tend to avoid the old warehouse district now, but they do. So it's a little strange that they decided to build a secret laboratory there, and Frederick does confirm to you that it was secret. He says the doctor requested that we construct it in such a way that it's not easily found. So it's a rundown area. It's in fact hidden within a warehouse. It would probably be best if we travel there by day. As you all know, it's not particularly safe at night.
That's not.
Do you think the doctor would have had the means to replicate what you did within hiding this place?
Means as much as money, yes. I would imagine that he would probably be able to employ people, certainly not like yourselves, but plenty of people to be able to move his laboratory if he chose to.
Okay. What time of day is it?
Well, I imagine that all of you would probably have been sent for roughly mid-afternoon. So if you go now, you could probably get there by evening, or you could wait until morning and have the full day.
I say we go now. We check the site, check the warehouse, look for clues. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not scared
agreed.
at dark.
Yeah, you will. If you went now, you will definitely be able to reach the laboratory by the time the sun is going down. So as far as leaving, it might be dark. But again, you're all skilled individuals in various ways. So
Any delay we take now will just make the trail of this good doctor, bad doctor, go colder.
Yeah, yes.
certainly possible, yeah.
Because the couple of weeks waiting already has not done that.
I take it I would have a room in the house, in the servants'
Yes.
quarter.
All of you have rooms in the house or in one of the nearby kind of row houses that are also part of the compound, yes.
In that case, I will go and collect my equipment. Doing the accent again. And Klaus, you go get. You can procure us some oil lanterns.
Wait, oil.
Friedrich is
Frederick, please have Jives bring the oil lanterns to the front for us.
certainly, sir. Are there any other pieces of equipment you'd be interested in requiring?
And I'm going to look down
Procuring.
at Lucian. Well? Would you like some tea and sconces at the same time?
Sconces, they're the things attached to the walls, yes?
Yes.
But if you wish, you could always make me some sandwiches.
Sconces.
Oh no. Do we have a secret hobbit?
Nobody clip that, please.
Don't worry. I'm not doing that gag. I'm just saying, yeah. Maybe you could get us some apples from the kitchen.
That's funny.
Or you could just pick some up along the way.
So yeah, if there's anything in particular that you think you might need that would be within reason, Frederick has been leave by Otto to provide you equipment. Again, you all have equipment. Some of you may wish to leave some of that equipment behind for reasons. Specifically, I will say, Tony, I don't know why your character was given so much heavy equipment, but you might want to at least leave your tent behind. You're probably
yeah,
not
I was just
need it.
looking at that.
It is pretty heavy.
Yeah,
Because encumbrance is a thing.
Yeah. If I see Frederick heading to the stables to get his horse, then I'll get mine as well.
Oh no, there's no getting to stables or horses. This is a kind of walking kind of deal.
Okay.
Generally, people in Sternberg just travel on foot. There are carriages. I suppose that you could hire a carriage if you all wanted to pool in some money. But the carriage is only going to take you to essentially the edge of the old warehouse district. You'll have to go the rest of the way on foot. In fact, if you did decide to take a carriage, you would probably have a little bit more time.
Other than crowbar, can't think of anything. Oh, other than lanterns and the crowbar, can't think of anything else we really need at this stage.
A crowbar? What? I'm like...
So, a lantern is probably going to have some encumbrance to it. Let me double check. Crowbar, definitely. I'm going to say that's one encumbrance. So a lot of things don't have weight. Like if you look, I'll look at Lucian in specific. So he's currently at 5 of 12 encumbrance. And you'll notice that, like, yeah, your pistols, your rapier, those have encumbrance, the grappling hook.
Yeah.
But like your bullets, your powder horn, those don't really. So yeah, you've got room if you want to get a crowbar. You can certainly handle that. And then a lantern. I don't think crowbar is in the book. I haven't looked for one.
Yeah, crowbar is in the book. Well, at least the
Is it really?
It's
Nice.
not. Well, not the book. The other one. Crowbar is one. But
Okay,
lantern
that makes
is
sense.
not here.
I've got 12 encumbrance slots if anybody wants to
Wow.
carry something.
Well, like I said,
carry
you have
lanterns.
rooms, so like I don't think you
mule.
need to carry Tony's tent. I don't know that a tent is gonna. You guys aren't gonna be leaving the city, most likely.
Camp,
Certainly
no.
helpful if you're out and about, but yeah. Okay, no, that's not where I want to look.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
lantern.
because I'm in the magic section. Let's get out of the magic
Yeah, I
section.
don't think there's anything else we would we would think to need at this point. We have to assess.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
going on.
there is. If anybody has the lockpicking skill, you do need lockpicks. And if I remember correctly, I think one of you has a lockpick.
That'd be me.
The thief.
Yeah. But if you break it, it's broken.
Yeah.
And then you need another one. But that's a black market item. You'd have to find somebody to purchase that. Although, House Volker might have a few laying around.
Yeah, and lantern, I did find it. It's in a different area. It is encumbrance 2.
Is it 2? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
And-
figure like some oil for it are kind of included in that. So yeah, as long as somebody has a lantern, if it gets dark, that's what's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is
Yes. But yeah.
So yeah, lanterns 2, crowbars 1. If you want a couple of extra lockpicks, I will. Somebody roll a d6. That's how many lockpicks are lying around that Frederick can find.
Yay, and there's exploding dice. Roll a 6.
you making me do this? God.
Whoever wants to.
Fine, I'll
So I
do
know
it.
a couple of you have the lockpicking skill.
2.
All right, 2. So you got 2 more lockpicks.
I mean, I've got the skill, but if anybody else has got the skill, I can share them out.
Oh, I
I
know
do.
Meyer has it too.
I've got 1 in it. A
Yep.
3 with my agility.
So, split them, 1 each. So
Yeah,
you
in case you
one.
get split up, maybe. Sure.
Yeah.
Now remove Volker from the table, but you still have Frederick with you. He's gonna join you. So, are we taking a carriage? Frederick is willing to procure one if you want to take one to the edge of the district. That'll give you a little bit more daylight.
If the house is
Uh,
paying, yeah.
Frederick, certainly we're not taking the house
carriage.
We don't want our sigil
no,
being...
sir, not the house
carried around.
carriage.
No, absolutely not.
No.
With a crest on the side, with
Exactly.
trying to go
No.
stealth. We're
No,
not
sir, I
working
was
for the
just
house.
going to send a
Well,
runner to hire one.
Very good.
Cover over it.
Okay, so you get to the edge of the warehouse district. Frederick knows the way, and it's still daylight. So, yeah, as you enter the old warehouse district, immediately there's just a sense of oppression that kind of pushes down on you. For some reason, there's more fog here, more mist. And as you walk through the streets, you do see some furtive glances here and there from the few remaining people who do try to remain and live and make something out of their place in this district. It doesn't feel good. And let's just put it that way. It doesn't feel like a good place to be. But with Frederick's assistance, you very quickly, or within 20 minutes, 30 minutes of walking or so, you locate the warehouse. And it's pretty big. If you had to guess, it's probably, I'm gonna go in feet because that's what I have in front of me. It's probably 200 feet wide and maybe half that deep. Two great big wooden doors in front. One in fact is kind of ajar, so they're just kind of hanging open.
I'm gonna bang on the door. Bang, bang, bang. Dr. Frankenstein? Doctor!
No response.
Try to
Getting
open the
that
door.
close to the door and banging on it, though, with the door being ajar. Well, first, you definitely, as you bang on the door, you kind of hear an echo, and an echo definitely of your own voice. And then there's a smell. You can definitely catch the scent of like rot and just waste. It smells like something or some people are living here, but nobody is responding. And in fact, as you're just kind of taking your bearings, Frederick steps forward and pushes open the door. He's been here before.
Nicholas, is this where you've been? It smells exactly like when you... This exactly smells like where you came from.
Oh, I have not been here before.
Yeah, so we'll follow him in.
So yeah, he does the whole Aragorn pushes both big old doors wide open. He doesn't look as statuesque as he does it, though. And yeah, as the light kind of, whatever light there is, kind of filters into the room, you can see that it is, in fact, a warehouse. There are a bunch of crates, and most of them are broken. There are some what look to be barrels of some kind of corrugated metal. You would assume that it smells like people have been burning things in. There's probably some people who use this location to get out of the weather. You think you might even see in some of the corners some kind of hastily thrown together pallets out of rubbish and whatnot. And Frederick is just kind of making a beeline across to the opposite wall.
Follow it.
Yeah, just stick with Frederick.
Yeah, just keeping an eye out for anything. Probably
Okay.
covering up my face with my cloak somewhat. Just to...
So, as you go deeper into the warehouse, right, it's not quite as deep as it is wide, but as you go deeper, you are kind of losing the light. So if anybody wants to light one of the lanterns, and in fact, Frederick kind of waits for you to do so. And then as you head forward, you come to the back wall. And Frederick steps up to the wall and kind of looks around for a second, and you might even spot it before he does. but there is a red brick that is kind of out of place on the wall, and he pushes on it, and a doorway opens up, and the light from your lantern spills into a room that clearly was once used as some kind of laboratory. There are a couple of tables, work tables, shelves. Frederick is kind of glancing around. He offers to take hold of the lantern if you would like him to.
Yeah, I'll hand it over.
Okay, and he kind of like aims it around, and he says to you, yeah, he's cleared out. There are some things still here. Like there's quite a long table in the center of the room, which is not nearly the same size as the warehouse. The room is maybe say 50 feet by 40 feet or so. It's not super big, but it's enough space to work in. In one corner there appears to be what was once some kind of a work table. There's a couple of shelves on the back wall that are empty, except for some glass jars of various sizes.
Okay.
Suppose the first question to ask is, what's missing?
Yeah.
What's missing? Well,
the books. We gave them precious books from our family.
So clearly there's no books, and Frederick also says there were machines made of metal and copper, and as I said, they were sparking with energy. He had several cages of animals, and that's strange. So yeah, he's like, there's it almost everything is gone.
Okay.
No leftover books or notes or anything else.
No, as I said, the only thing on the shelves on the back wall are some jars of various sizes.
Do we know is it apparent what is inside the jars? Are they?
You want to go look at them?
I'll go through them out of this disdainful curiosity, really.
So Frederick follows you to give you some light, and as you're looking through these jars, it looks like there are animals in the jars suspended in some kind of liquid. The bodies of the animals are in various stages of decay, and anybody who has academics science or animal handling can make a roll to glean more information if you want.
Yeah. I'll do that because we would have been following the light source. So.
Okay. Well, I think Lucian requested 2 lanterns, so somebody else could have another lantern up and running as well. Because it is quite dark in here. Yeah, right. Nick does need 2 hands. He's got a big old heavy flail.
Does both of them need
Also should have pointed out, that's another good reason that you guys took a carriage, actually, because generally you don't walk around town with weapons and armor. By taking a carriage, you could have put your armor on. For those of you that have it, you could be carrying your weapons.
Okay, so
Pardon me.
on science. So I've got
Suppose while
one
they're doing that,
rank in science.
I'd just
and
like to
3
ask,
intelligence.
is there anything like sconces on the wall for candles or anything?
Yes, yeah.
Lit?
No, there are sconces.
None of them are filled with jam.
If you look, if somebody with a lantern thinks to look up, there's actually a couple of low-hanging hooks that would have been perfect for hanging a lantern from. So yeah, there's definitely some light in here. But as you're looking at those, I'm going to say that Frederick is kind of looking at you, looking at the sconces and things. I don't know, maybe you kind of look at one of the chains that's hanging down, And Frederick says, "Oh yeah, he also lit the place with a strange metal device that was coursing with energy."
Like a metal torch?
Kind of, yeah. It was stationary. It was quite large. More of a tube that had energy kind of rocketing inside, up and down, in every which direction.
Well, in order for him to have been able to leave with such big equipment, it had to have been noticed. He would have needed carts from the equipment you're describing, and the fact that it's here, nobody can just up and go with a laboratory in the middle of a freaking city without somebody noticing something.
One would think.
Oh, you never know what
so-
to choose not to see.
Right. Did you roll, Tony? Did I miss it?
No, not yet. I'm just confirming it'll be 4, won't it? So 1 in ranks in academics, then 3 in intelligence.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, 1 success.
Yeah. So with 1 success, as you're looking at the jars with the animals inside, as I said, they're in various states of decay, but it's also clear on a couple of the larger ones. There's a rat, there's also a fox, but you can kind of see as you kind of shift it, say you're looking at the rat one, as you shift the jar, you can kind of see incisions on it, and it looks like that these animals have been cut apart and put back together very well by a skilled hand. So this is a person who knows what they're doing. Now, having said that, as you're looking at it, the rat in the jar actually twitches and moves. So I'm gonna need you to make a willpower check. Just your willpower.
Willpower. Okay, there. So just that. So, and the standard is always just white dice, isn't it? So.
Just white.
And I got 2.
Okay, so with 1 success, you almost flub and like drop the jar, but you don't, and you manage to hold on to it. But yeah, this thing is maybe alive, kind of alive. It's moving. And now that you notice it, if you look at the rest of the jars, all of the other specimens in the various jars are still alive.
Yeah, I think at that I would have like noticeably like shook back a bit. And once it's like that settled in, it's like these
Where
animals are
would a
still alive.
rat have gotten the money to pay for that type of surgery?
It depends if it was
Why
elective
would-
or not.
Why would he leave it all? Maybe he's going to come back for it all.
It might be what he didn't need.
It seems odd to
If his
leave all these
patients are
jars.
still alive.
I know. For anyone to find as well.
Maybe if one of them's a dog, maybe he'll be able to sniff out the doctor.
Do these
Try the
things,
fox.
so I was just gonna say, these things in the jars, do they look dead?
No.
Yeah, like rotting.
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's the
And all of the incision points on them would indicate that either their main trunks have been opened up and then resealed, or in a couple of cases, on a couple of them, like the rat, it looks like its limbs have been removed and then reattached.
This doctor's a madman. He's accelerated the decomposition process in living beings.
I love how you're just totally misunderstanding this in the wrong direction. I love it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was mentioned that he's doing the opposite in a sense, but okay.
Clearly not.
How many people were here? And how many ex-people were here? I'll look at Frederick for that.
The doctor didn't have any assistants, as we said before.
What about
you mean
patients?
living in the warehouse?
Yes.
At times, I've seen as many as 20 to 30 people.
He doesn't understand more than 8. To say 20, you have to tell him 2.5 times 8 people.
So 2 to 3 groups of 8 people?
Yes. Very good, Frederick.
I'll kind of look down at the floor then, at the areas where he was indicating where the machines were.
Okay.
Does it look like? I mean, from my mind, or rather the character's mind, I should say, it sounds like he's talking about big machines that were set up in here, made of metal and steel, and iron and copper, and so I would imagine that these things would have left a mark on the floor of some description, dirt around the edges, maybe scrapes, wear and tear on the floor.
So I'm gonna need investigate check from you.
So that is it. White dice outside of combat?
No, you're outside of combat, so that's red.
Oh, red.
For you.
Right.
You
I'll get
are
the hang
a
of it.
skill monkey.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
Take away the first word.
So
3.
red is 3+, so yeah, 2 successes. Yeah, you definitely see indications of a lot of footprints of, with 2 successes, I'll even say various sizes, different types of boot tread, some barefoot, interestingly. You also see one print kind of in and around all of the rest that is, you can't be sure, but it seems impossibly large. It would be, I mean, I don't know what shoe sizes are like where you're at, Hagen, but it would be like a 15, 16 shoe. And me, as an average sized person in the States, I wear a 9.
Yeah, it's similar to here. So, yeah, size 15. That's significant.
A basketball player.
Larger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what they say about people with big, men with big feet, like Durex bills.
Right.
And
that particular print is also barefoot.
yeah, and that's kind of the thing I was worrying about here, because if he's stitching things together and he's a necromancer, and so the logical route here is he's reanimating things, then he's stitching together ogres or something of that size, something massive.
It's going to be bare feet, because you're not going to be able to. Going to be difficult to get boots.
Find a cobbler. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll also look at the door that we came in from. How big was that door? So
the door to the warehouse or the secret door?
Secret door.
Okay. The secret door is probably standard door sized.
So how did they get out?
Frederick, we're gonna have to get rid of those abominations. We can't leave any evidence behind of what this doctor was doing in the name of our house.
Very good, sir. How should we do that?
Fire.
So do the footprints lead towards the secret door, or do they lead somewhere else?
With your investigate check, I feel comfortable giving you the information about all the various prints, but as far as like tracking where the prints are going, that's going to require a tracking roll.
And
Luckily, you have an expert tracker.
Can anyone track these footprints?
Yeah, I can try. Which ones?
The really, really big one.
Oh wow. Okay.
The one that clomped when it walked.
It definitely did. Okay, so roll red dice for tracking.
Huh?
Nice.
All right.
Oh, nice.
You can re-roll that 6.
Yeah, you have an exploding.
Oh.
You can re-roll the 6 again.
Nice.
You can re-roll the 6 again.
This is like
There we
6
go.
successes.
Okay, so 3
Yeah,
6s, and you have 3, so you have 6 total. That's an amazing tracking check.
Wow.
You know the names of the people who moved through this room. No, that's
And apparently, the fact that he only had 8 toes. The big ones don't count.
Actually, what's strange is that the giant foot did, in fact, only have 4 toes. It was missing one of its toes. Missing, like there's a place for it in the print. I don't know if that's information that Hamide would share, but that's an interesting point. So yeah, you can track the print, and that the large print and several of the other there's a few sets of booted prints, and several of the other prints actually all head towards the wall, not the wall that you came in on. And at this point, I think we will go ahead and heal some things here.
Oh, okay. But yeah, anything I notice about it, I will just be saying it out loud because, you know, I'm going to show off what I can see and what I can do. So, especially for being asked to track, it's like, yes, of course. You know, this it's so clearly obvious. You know, it's missing a toe, and they like this. It's big prints. How can you not tell? They go over here to.
So
to a
you can
wall.
all see my indicator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all came in through this secret door here, and all of the tracks head towards this wall.
Okay.
Conveniently blocked out by this black covering. Don't be ridiculous. How could tracks lead to a wall?
Quite easily. They're done. Get some light closer, Frederick.
Frederick comes over, and if somebody wants to do perception, or you can also assist someone in this game. If you have a similar skill, you can assist people and give them a bonus die. So if we want to have a primary roller for kind of looking at the wall, investigate would also work.
I've got 5 dice for investigate.
Yeah, well,
And
why don't you investigate the wall?
I think I have 4 for perception.
Okay, so Jake, why don't you go ahead and roll to assist
Okay.
Hagen.
Yeah.
And Hagen can roll to...
And what does assist do? If I get a 6, it gives him an extra die?
Oh, actually, do you need to roll to assist, or do you just assist? I think you just assist. So yeah,
Okay.
with Perception 4, I will let you assist Hagen. Hagen, you go ahead and roll and add a bonus die to your investigate check.
Yeah, because I think his comment, I would have just stepped aside and said, right, prove me wrong.
Right. This is where they went.
This is where they went. You prove me wrong. And just stand back.
I'll pull out the crowbar because we brought it along for a reason. Tap along
Right.
the wall to find where the pitch changes, and then start looking for, I don't know, another brick or something. Something slightly out of place to press and see if I can open another secret door.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can
So
roll
again,
2
you
6s
could re-roll
again.
the 6s, but in this case, it's not really necessary.
Yes, overkill.
You discover another secret door and the method for opening it. Would you like to open it?
I'll look to everybody, sort of indicate where the thing is, and then, as an afterthought, put the crowbar away and draw my rapier.
Hang on a second. I'm messing up.
Hamide, it was not a wall that you led us to, it was a door.
I know.
Yeah, so
It had to lead somewhere.
I'll sort of indicate I am armed. Anybody else joining me?
I will join you. I'm not drawing a weapon.
I'm always armed.
Fair enough.
Just with a massive flail.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I'll make
try.
a doorway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So make sure everybody's sort of ready, and then open the door.
So it is another kind of miscolored brick on the wall. And in pressing said brick, you open a door that is significantly larger. It's probably about half again as tall and wide as the initial secret door you came in through. And it opens on a rough cut, natural kind of stairway heading downward to another door.
This person with size
This door is
18
apparent,
shoe
though.
must have been very short. The size of this door.
Again, it's half again as tall, so take a standard doorway, add half of that doorway on top of it.
Oh, I see. Okay, opposite. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, seeing the size of the door, thinking about the size of that footprint, I'll look down at my rapier and really, really wish it was a bigger sword. And then lead the way down.
So is anybody attempting to be stealthy? Are we concerned about that at this point?
I'm not, specifically because
I think it's just
Okay.
yeah, at least trying
it's
to be
just
quiet.
been abandoned.
All right.
Because, I mean, the
Actually,
sound
I'll
of
be
the footprints
talking.
going this way.
What?
So also another question, do we want to take a short break before continuing?
Yes, I would like a short break.
Oh.
Okay. So you've discovered this stairway, and if you kind of at least work yourself into the position where you can see, you do note, and my fog of war is kind of covering up a smidge, but there is a doorway right here, and this is an apparent door. It is not hidden or anything of the sort. And in fact, since we have the map up, everybody on over. You can kind of put yourself on the stairway where you want to be.
Cool.
Can we go two abreast? No.
Yeah, roughly. Actually, since we've got the map up, let me turn the grid on so you can measure distance a little bit better.
Also, that was a little bit of a personal question. But yes.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I can't control my guy. I think I had to re-enter before, so I may be off.
Oh, can anybody control their people?
No, I can't move mine
No.
either.
Okay, so I was wondering if maybe I messed that up earlier. Let me fix that.
Well, that's okay. You can move us around, and
I think
We're
I can
okay with
fix
that.
that very quickly. Now can everybody move their guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
oh wow, yes. All right, I don't know if I want to be within like 4 fingers reach of Lucian, but I might be slightly behind him.
Okay.
I'll go next to him. You have got a lantern, haven't you, Lucian?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're my light source.
Speaking of which, we might want to figure all of that out because Lucian does have an ability that requires 2 hands if he wants to use it. You certainly don't have to do it, but it is there. But I think everybody has situations where they might want to use both of their hands. Like
No, I don't mind
Hamide
using a
uses
lantern.
a bow. You've got but you've got a shield.
I don't think I would have been walking around with a shield in the middle of a city.
Oh, no.
Like when I'm looking for, like I don't consider that as something I would have been doing. Really,
That's fine.
I don't know.
You probably would have had your sword though, at least, right?
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Especially traveling into the abandoned warehouse district. Okay. And Frederick, as I said, is perfectly happy to carry the lantern. He has been. He's got a rapier. So whoever wants to hold the second lantern, if that's you, Jake, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind to it. It is family property. I don't mind to be holding it and carrying it around. Fine.
Okay.
You know what I need to do that I know I can do on Owlbear? I need to make lantern tokens. That would be fun.
Oh, cool.
Like a light aura that I can attach to certain players. I'll do that for next time.
Well, I could just do this to show that I'm holding a lantern.
Right. Just keep playing like that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, actually. All right. So we've figured out who have the lanterns. Frederick and Talzani have the lanterns. And yeah, so you have a door. What do you want to do?
I'll do the scoundrelly thing, and I will listen at the door for any sort of sounds of. You know what? This sounded better in my head when I thought it up, but moans, grunts, and other sounds of untoward sounds.
Sure, I get you.
And while he's trying to listen carefully at the door, I'm gonna be like, "Come on, Lucian, get on with this. The doctor's been missing for 3 weeks. Listening at a door won't help find him any quicker."
Does it have a keyhole?
It does.
You want to listen through that?
Maybe you want to have a look through it.
I mean, I was going to listen at the door first to sort of.
I think they've probably heard us talking now, so.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll look through the keyhole.
Certainly hope they have. I hope they're there. That makes this job a lot easier. They're there.
It's just dark.
Well,
You just shine your lantern.
Through the keyhole? How's he going to look through it at the same time? You want to try the door?
you know, I'll just try the handle first.
It's not locked.
Living corpses are decomposing now as you're waiting for this to happen. I just want to remind you.
That's fine. I'll
That's the
carefully
sentence you
open the
chose
door.
to go with there.
They've been waiting 3 weeks for us to arrive.
I'm going to be careful opening this door to make sure that we don't do anything like accidentally get one of those hinges that just, for some unknown reason, no matter how much oil you apply, creaks ominously.
I hope it does.
It opens, easily enough. There's not any dramatic over-the-top creaking, just normal amounts of creaking for a used door. And what you see with the lantern light kind of filtering past you is what appears to be a room lit. Is that not work?
Don't worry about it. The speed of light was slower in those days.
There we go. So,
Oh.
what you see in this room, it appears to be a series of holding cells. The bars are wrought iron, and they appear to be relatively new. There is a large drain in the center of the hallway that leads to another door. On this wall, next to the door, you can see a series of switches and handles, levers of some sort. And from your position, you can see two shapes, one here and one here in the cells. And once you've opened the door, you can hear them breathing, but it's kind of a wheezing kind of breath. There is a lot of debris around the drain in the center, and a lot of that debris looks like biomatter of some kind. There's a lot of reddish brownish fluid and chunks.
I'm gonna look back at Frederick.
It smells quite bad. It smells quite bad.
Those two? Gotta get rid of the evidence. I'll enter the room.
Okay.
I gotta be in the other one. And I'd like to take a look at, like, I want to examine more. I'm gonna take a look at the person that seems to be breathing there. I mean, well, I assumed person. What do I see with regards to that person and the other one across the
So, they are a polite way to describe them is disheveled. They are gaunt, very pale. Their hair is wispy and looks to have been falling out in patches. Anybody who has again, science might do it. Any kind of biology, academic skill could probably do it as well. If you want to give me a check. I think Lucian has science. Or no, I'm sorry.
Very much.
Hamide has science.
Yeah, I've got science.
I have what you might call practical sciences.
Right.
Street smarts. Yeah, so I'll do... Nope, too many.
Okay, so you can tell if you take a closer look at them. I guess I should move Frederick, shouldn't I? He moved into the room as well. He's kind of looking at the bits. The two figures, and I'm going to go ahead and reveal them now. They are not alive. You can tell that for a certainty.
Thank goodness.
Oh
my God.
They have what looks to be like Y incisions on their torso. In fact, taking a closer look, anyone who does so, it looks like... So they have the appropriate number of limbs, I'll say that. But it looks like the limbs might have different skin textures and coloration.
Okay. I will be saying this out loud. Letting everybody know. But also, like, being quizzical about it, because, like, I'm sure we heard them. We can.
This doctor must be pioneering the very same pigmentation change that Michael Jackson had done to himself. Obviously, he's trying to change the color of people's skins for some odd reason. This is bizarre. This doesn't help people.
Isn't it Myconus Jacksonus or something like that? The ancient entertainer.
I think seeing this, I might have to prepare my rifle to shoot these abominations. This is not natural.
So your rifle is a two-hander, though. So you're gonna put the lantern down.
So
I'd have to, like, this can't keep these. This is horrible. What were these things?
People.
Yeah.
Hey, they're people.
Do they have exceptionally large feet?
No. These are, for lack of a better description, were once averagely sized people.
Are they're not moving at all, are they? It's just we can hear them.
So they, as I said, they appear to be breathing
Yeah.
or making noise. just kind of a gasping, wheezing. You can see that their torsos are kind of moving a little bit, so they are animate, but they're not moving. They're just kind of knelt down or sat down in place.
Okay.
Do you guys have any names? I'm attempting to communicate with them to see if they communicate at all.
No response.
Excellent, perfect. Because if they had names, we'd have to keep them. All right. I think I'm gonna shoot them. This is wrong. My family's house cannot be known and associated with this.
Yes.
As he brings his rifle up, I'm just going to sort of warn everybody to plug their ears.
Okay.
Oh, I have to light it. It's going to be quite obvious.
Maybe.
And I believe that there's also a chance that this could misfire or fail, or there could be a mishap here. So I think I have to roll 1d6.
Correct.
And if I roll a 1, which I did not. Okay, so it does
Slip
go
away.
Exactly.
While you try and blow your face off.
So yeah, it takes you a moment, and just so everybody else is aware of what this would be like in combat, which is kind of funny, it actually takes 2 actions to light the match, and then a third action to prep the weapon for fire.
Wow.
Yeah, so these are not I'm just going to use this every round in combat. This is a flintlock rifle, or a matchlock rifle rather. And so so you go ahead and fire. I'm going to give you, let's say, 2 bonus dice because they're stationary. Gives you can line up your shot very easily. Yeah.
All right. So shooting, I have a 6 in, so it's going to be 8 dice.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm counting 3. Reroll those 6s.
Yeah.
I'm counting that one as the 4.
Okay.
So
good.
I see a 4 and 2 6s. Reroll the 6s. Nope. Oh, I'm sorry. You're rolling black dice?
I'm just rolling. It doesn't matter the color because you'll just determine.
Well, no, it does matter because black dice would succeed on a 2. But we'll assume you were just rolling your white dice. That's
just rolling
fine.
White dice. Yeah, I apologize.
What was the second reroll? I missed that.
3, I think, or a 2. I didn't get any other successes.
That's also a miss. So yeah, 3 successes is going to give you a base of 3 success value for damage. And now you roll damage, which is going to be 3 plus the damage of the weapon.
Okay, so the damage of this weapon is
5, I believe.
5. Wow. Okay.
Yep. So you're rolling 8 dice again. Let's just roll white dice this time, just to
Sure.
so I don't get confused. I need to see if they have any kind of defenses. Right,
so that's only
1,
3.
2, 3. All right. Cool. All right,
And
so
glad you hit.
And at this point, I'm just gonna let it bleed. Like, I don't care. I'm not looking to kill. I'm just. They're in the cell. Oh.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
So that particular thing is going to take 3 points of damage. Now, unfortunately, the weapon that you just fired is quite loud. And as Lucian kind of warned everybody to, I don't know if anybody else covered their ears, but it goes off with quite a bang and a crack. And then shortly after that, so you've struck this thing, and it is hit, and it kind of gets pushed back by it, but doesn't seem to have much more reaction than that. But moments after you fire your weapon, the doors to the cells all open.
What? That's not good.
No.
And I'll look over at Lucian and say, "Don't play with those controls over there by the door."
He didn't touch them.
I don't know. I'm just assuming because I'm looking over and I see him by the controls.
What's going on?
What? Sorry, what?
So,
Oh shit.
I need everybody to make an initiative check. So your initiative is listed on your character sheet. It's essentially just your agility, unless you have any bonuses to it, and I don't recall if any of you do. It's just what I have listed there. I need these guys.
All right. So if I get 2 out of 4 successes, I can explode this die, but. If I explode
I
this
just
die,
need to know how many successes you get.
3. But 5 is also a success, so that's 4 successes for me.
So 4 total?
One.
Okay.
Yeah. But whoever did that, Lucian, you have an exploding die.
I got 3.
Yeah.
Got what, an exploding dice.
Yeah. Okay.
Just one.
Yeah, I just got 3.
Right,
I
I'm
got
adding...
1. Does that mean I go first?
No, sadly. I'm adding all of you to the initiative list, which is the crossed swords, and you can change your value to what you rolled.
Initiative, that's the cross swords.
Pretty sure Lucen didn't roll 30.
Sorry. Normally
That's
on
the
these things, you
musical
type a number.
explosion.
Insane! Oh, and I need to roll for Frederick. Where is his? Right. Wow.
Wow.
He's run off. That's his action. Screw this.
3. Jeez. 2 6s. 108 playing around.
I wasn't able to cover my ears because I've got both my hands on my flail.
That's not a euphemism either.
On my weapon.
Wow.
That's why I backed off into the corner.
Okay,
To the back.
so as we are kind of moving into action here, the first thing I want everybody to do is kind of shift yourself so that you're fully in a square. So it makes it easier for you to track distance. You can, on your turn, take a single action, which is a variety of things you're used to from most RPGs. You can attack, you can charge is a thing, you can reload, that takes time. If Jake's going to want to use his Harkwitness again, that's going to take a while. But yeah, so you can take a single action. You can also take an auxiliary action. Some of you have auxiliary actions listed in your traits. And then finally, you can move, which is considered its own thing, right? Movement is in feet. Sorry for those of you who don't use the antiquated Imperial system. But every square is about 5 feet. You can move 25 feet. That's 5 squares. So just remember, you can generally move 5 squares.
Okay.
So yeah, actually, Palzani is first. Firing that shot, he is primed for action. The doors swing open, and as soon as the doors swing open, both of these things leap to their feet.
Oh.
All right.
They look aggressive now.
So number one, like I said, I'm not worried about the one I just shot. I'm sure he's gonna bleed out. It'll be fine. I've seen this on the battlefield. You shoot a guy once, he stays down, then you come back and you do the coup de grace. This is normal for me. So I'm gonna drop the weapon or sling it or whatever. I'm grabbing out my sword. As my move action. Well, okay, so I have to ask. So I see Nicholas has this big two-handed flail, correct?
Hmm?
Okay. And I know Lucian already has this this little sword. Maybe he uses it for spreading butter on his toast. I'm not sure. Little something.
It's a rapier.
And my free action is probably going to be to say something to Lucian, friggin' close those cells! You've got the doors there, goddammit! I am actually going to charge in to attack this one.
Okay.
And as my auxiliary action, I am going to shout out, and of course it's going to be, this is not a free action, this is going to be the auxiliary action. I'm going to say, "Get your goddamn weapon in here and smash this thing in the head already." And that will give him a +2 bonus to attack and defense rolls until I'm done, until my turn. So you have a +2/+2. It's kind of this thing, but I'm doing it in an ordering kind of way. You come here, if you decide you want to go attack something else, you still get the +2. It's all, but just flavor-wise, that's what I'm doing.
So as a man-at-arms, Jake is a battlefield commander, and so a lot of his abilities enable give bonuses, but also they are orders, right? He is ordering people on the battlefield. So yeah, Nick's got a +2/+2 to attacks and defense. Good to remember.
Okay, and my again, I'm not sure. Is this a fighting roll?
Yeah, so it'll be fighting.
Okay, so and my sword is nimble, so I can use my agility. So I will have 6 dice on this one. So I'll go back to the dice. And charging actually gives me another +1. I think I charged at least 10 feet. Is that correct, or is going through the door hampering my charge? Or maybe
I'll
give it to you.
I'll give it to you.
Fine. So then I probably need to be there blocking. So that would mean 7. Oh my god, I have 1.
Oh, you have 1.
That's
right.
Really bad.
They defend for 1, so it is surprisingly nimble. As you get up next to it and try to swing at it, it does kind of just jerkily, in a very unnatural way, move to the side as you try and strike it. But Nick has gained a bonus, so there's that. Nick's not next though, Hamide is, so what's going on with Hamide?
I'm just straight up, because they've shot up, I'm gonna just use my bow and just go straight for this one down here.
Sorry, which one?
This one, the bottom one.
Oh, okay. If you want to indicate something, you can hold down your right mouse button, and that should give you.
But it wasn't.
Did I turn that off too? Hang on, let me fix it.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's player permissions. I think I turned all the permissions off because I wanted to. I don't know.
Oh, this owlbear is pretty impressive. That there's all that functionality to it.
Okay, you should be able to indicate things now. I turned back on create pointer, so test it out.
I'm right clicking. No. I might have to reload for that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, this
right.
This one at the bottom.
But the bottom one, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so
the bars are open, but not. You're not that good of an archer. If you want it from where you are, if you want to take the shot, I'm gonna imply a penalty. If you want to have a shot with no penalties, you're going to have to get into position where you can shoot through the now open door.
Okay, so that's
which you can do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll do that.
And I think you are actually. No, I think you're still going to take a -1 penalty for having moved.
Okay.
A
But
trick shot.
you can still take the
ricochet.
shot.
Okay, so I'm using my bow, so I roll red attack dice.
Uh-huh.
And I use...
-1 because you moved.
And that's shooting?
Correct. Shooting ability.
So 5 minus, so I've got to do 4. Okay. Nice.
Reroll that 6.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Reroll that 6. Jesus.
Nice.
Reroll that 6.
Yes.
There we go.
And 2 is not a success on a red. Close though. So a total of 6 successes to hit. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can defend at all. Not at all. So you're gonna roll the bow's damage plus 6.
So damage is 3.
So 9 dice for damage. Do you also roll red dice for damage with bows?
Yes. You roll red attack dice and damage dice with bows.
Yep. Do it.
Wow.
You may also reroll 1 damage die each time you hit with a bow.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that's... What do you
Oh, I missed it.
So it's
Hang
3
on, let me
plus.
look. Yeah, 3 plus for red.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4,
So
5, 6, and then 7.
7, reroll the 6. 2 6s. So there's 8. Reroll that other 6. The cracked one. And that's 9. Okay, so 9 damage. Do you want to reroll one of the failed ones?
Sure, why not? Let's
Might as
roll
well.
1.
You have the ability.
There we go.
Okay, 10. So 10 damage. Okay, again. It's ridiculous. And it will roll its armor die. Oh, it succeeded. And with a 6. Not again, though. So it takes a total of 9 points of damage. Why don't you describe for me how you murder this thing?
I think it stood up, so just moved straight into position, cocked it, and just it's headshot. So I'm assuming, did Klaus hit it in the head?
He did. Yeah.
So my thought with that is it's gone through the bullet hole, and
The
just
hole?
and it's just tore straight through.
So your arrow flies into the bullet hole in this thing's head. What you don't see, but you can imagine, is that as the arrow strikes the lead ball from Jake's Harquebus, the iron head of your arrow shatters, and the force of the arrow pushes the ball through, so that all of the fragments of the arrowhead and the original pistol ball blow out of the back of this thing's head as it slumps to the ground.
Wow.
Well done. All right. So that was Amide. Now we're on Lucian.
So, while this is sort of started off, I'm looking at the board of, because I've been told about this board of switches. It's a case of, well, you stood in the way, I can't do anything around you. So I'll look at this board of switches. Have any of them moved since we came in?
Ooh, have any of them moved? Give me an intelligence check to see if you remember what their initial position was.
Am I rolling white dice for this? Or
Yes.
red? White
No,
dice.
you're in combat, so this is just white dice.
4.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
You
you can explode it.
you could explode it, but that'll do it.
And yeah.
What is with you guys and exploding dice? Jeez. Yeah, right?
Yeah, but it'll curse us next week.
Right.
So 3.
So, yes, you can tell that all of the switches, like whatever happened, obviously nothing in here. None of you did anything, but all of the switches flipped to the up position when the doors opened.
Okay, so next one is
and there are 6 switches.
Yeah. So is Palzani in the cell or out of the cell?
He's in the cell.
I'd be in for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Lock him in.
Yeah, I was just thinking that zombie cage fight.
Yeah.
Tempting as that would be, I'll take it. I'll sort of hedge my bet on this and go for the. If I take it, it's like a series of 6, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. So what I'll do is
So they go from left to right. You need to tell me which one you're going. Left to right is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You could do 2.
You could do 2. You have 2 hands.
I'll take the 2 middle ones and flip one down first, then the other, and then look around to see which of the doors closes first.
Okay, so the 2 middle ones actually close the one farthest away from you on the side you're on, and then the one directly across from you.
Right. Because that makes sense. Right. So yeah, I'll put my hand on the first one, and I'll say to Palzani, "Back out quickly."
Okay. That brings us to Frederick. Frederick doesn't know what to do. He can't get to the other thing. He encourages Palzani. Palzani, you can take it. And then, yeah, he's the hype man. And then, although it's incorrect there, I believe Nikolaus's agility is higher than the Wiederganger, so you actually get to go first, since you're both on 1.
Now, am I able to move through people?
Yes, I'll allow that. Not charge, though. Charge, you have to have an open line.
I can't really do anything. I can't get into the cell. And he's coming out of the cell anyway, isn't he? So, is there one that was...
I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can get to this square right here and still be in the cell and be able to swing at it. Yeah.
That one's definitely dead, isn't it? It's gone back on the floor with its
one across
blooded head.
Yeah, that one. It does like half of its head's gone. The rear half.
Maybe I'll pummel its body just to make sure. So you're gonna let me do a flail attack?
Yeah, and at this point, I believe because of outnumbering, I believe you also get a +2 to your attack roll.
Yep. So +4 total.
Yeah, with
dice?
the yes.
And actually, Nicholas might get more.
18. So it's
and
my
Nicholas will get
agility.
+3 if he can get in.
Go with might because I get more. Right, I get 5 or 4. It says so. It be 5. Say +4, and so can I do that special ability, that trait, what I can't pronounce?
The Doppelsoldner. So yeah, wielding a 2-handed melee weapon, you gain a +1 bonus to damage rolls. Once per encounter, you can roll black dice for damage roll.
So I've got to hit it first.
You do have to hit it first. Yes.
So
that's your thing. Once you hit it, bad things happen. But you need to give me a just basic attack roll first with a total of +4.
So it's 9 then. Where's my dice?
It's the one beside the cross swords.
9 dice come in.
Oh, nice!
3 sixes.
4.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have to re-roll the 6s. 7,
Yeah,
8,
you only really
9,
9, 10.
10. So a total of 10 base plus the weapon damage, which I have already worked in your other bonuses to.
6 weapon damage.
So you're rolling 16 dice, and if you're using your Doppelsoldner, which you can do once per encounter, it's your call. This is
Yeah, well.
Yeah, because of the amount of dice you have.
You know what's in the next room, and I'm counting this all as one encounter, right?
Well, that'll be overkill, won't it? So I won't
Exactly.
do
So use it.
Yeah,
But, who knows?
It'd be kind of overkill on this thing.
No, there's something with size 15 feet, don't we? So,
All right.
Right.
All right.
So how many was it? 16.
So 16 white dice.
That explode too, correct?
They can, yeah.
I've only got 1 6.
Two
Only 1
sixes.
6 out of all
2
that.
sixes.
Oh yeah,
Two
yeah,
sixes.
2. So it's 4 plus, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And you get 2
Is that right?
rerolls. Yep.
7, 2 rerolls. 8 total.
Nice.
Okay, and it, although you do reduce its armor by 1, you can't reduce armor below 1, which is what it's at. So it does get the armor roll. It rolled a 4, which is successful on a white die. So
I
you're
got that
gonna
-1 crushing blows. Yeah.
Right. If something had more armor, it's better, but something that only has 1 point of armor, it's not very helpful because they're always going to get 1 die. That said, though, you still dealt 7 points of damage with a single hit. Describe for me how you crush this thing.
I'll just rock in there. I'll knock its head off. Literally, flail and just knock its head.
Okay. So you bring. Go ahead, Jake.
As he does, I'm wondering if we see like sewing and stitching marks like around where the head was.
I like where your head's at, and that's where I was going. So as
Okay,
you bring flail around, and the spiked ball, I'm assuming it's a spiked ball on the end of your flail, unless you want one of the blunt ones. It's up to you.
Oh, we like spikes.
Okay, so the spiked ball on the end of your flail hits the side of this thing's head. And particularly for Palzani and Nicholas, it's almost as if time slows down, and you can see the head kind of being pushed to the side, and you can see the seam and the stitching of where its head is attached to its neck being strained, and then slowly the stitches start to pop one after another as the seam just widens and widens, and then you just totally just home run this thing's head off of its neck.
And I'll accidentally do the sweep ability into Palzani.
Oh, I was going to say, Nicholas, you've just invented this great game where it could be head flail. You could have somebody stand in the middle of a field and throw a head at somebody holding a flail, and if they actually hit the flail, then they could run to different points. And the object of the people in the field will be to catch the head before you get to certain parts around it.
We'd need willing people to give the heads.
Right.
Criminals.
So, what's interesting though,
and
is
I'll
as you
look
watch
over
this
at
thing's-
Lucian.
What's interesting is as you watch this thing's body drop to the floor, for a second you lose track of where the head went, until you realize that the head is still attached to the spike on your flail.
I'll keep it on there.
First trophy.
Now it's encumbrance 4.
That's great. So it drops to the ground. We back out of initiative. What's going on?
Oh, I was told to move out. I'm afraid that Lucian might actually close the door on me where I am. That might be, permanent in my case. So I'm gonna move out here. But I will give Lucian a soldier's nod of like camaraderie. Well done, brother.
We all did our part.
You're a master
ignore that
of those
comment.
levers.
I ignore that.
A master at pulling knobs.
Flipping switches. Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult job, but someone's got to do it.
Yes.
So,
And I'm gonna open the door right away because somebody, if it wasn't Lucian that, flipped those switches, I'll go back. I'll pick up my gun, my rifle.
And it if you want it to, it can have a strap that you can sling.
Yeah. I'm not taking time to reload it though, because.
Okay, fair enough. The door, however, is locked. Once you try to open it, it doesn't budge.
So that means that pulling somebody inside this room could have opened those cells. What are you playing at, Lucian?
was not me.
Well, hurry up and open that door.
So I'll peer through the keyhole while he's complaining.
Keep an eye on him.
There is light. It looks like it's flickering. And now that you're not worried about, focused on these two things that have been put down, you hear kind of a crackling, as it were. Yeah.
I'll look back to Frederick and just sort of say, crackling noise? Is that normal? Your doctor's equipment?
Yes, he had equipment that was sparking and crackling.
Hmm.
Do you think he's just moved his laboratory underneath his old laboratory?
It's always a
Would
possibility.
make sense.
Maybe he moved the equipment from his laboratory into his laboratory.
I think
You may be right.
I think it's safe to say that something moved his equipment. I'll pull out the lockpick and start working on the door.
Okay. Yeah. Roll up pick locks if you've got it.
Is it pick lock or is it sleight of hand?
It's pick lock.
I don't.
You don't. That's what's weird. You don't have pick locks. I know someone who does
Wow.
though.
If I do, I'm never going to admit it to anybody.
Nicholas can pick locks.
I don't know if
I've
he's
got-
going to admit it to anybody.
Oh yeah, I don't care. I do have pick lock. Yeah, it's got 3 in it. Has nobody else got it? I thought.
Nope.
I've had it now.
No, that's what's weird. Like I built Hagen's character not to be that kind of a thief. He's a highwayman.
Yeah.
He holds people at gunpoint. He doesn't break into places.
Yeah,
But he's still-
bitches.
Yeah, but he's still got a lockpick as a part of his, scoundrel class. So
So I will give it a go.
all
I
right.
just find it funny. The
Really?
person with the biggest hammer is picking a lock.
Yeah,
No.
he's that kind of guy. Now
No, he's not.
you can but you can spend a point of luck if you want to roll 2 additional dice.
Oh, I think we will.
Oof.
Oh, there's a 6.
Very
So
nice.
you can re-roll the 6.
Exploded.
Okay.
Just one.
These are not super high quality locks. You definitely get that lock picked. And the door opens. And the first thing that you see is, as I said, like crackling lights. There does appear to be some warmer lights from torchlight in the room. And if you glance to your left, you see 2 things at once. The first thing you see,
Whoa.
2 things existed. The first thing you see is, well, you see a couple of things. There's kind of a workspace over here. There's some kind of weird mechanical console here. There's a table in the center of the room that, for lack of a better term, is like an operating table. And on said table is another thing like you just dealt with in those cages. This one, though, is strapped to the table and is missing its lower half. So it's essentially just a torso with arms and a head. And then looking further into the room, and thankfully because of all the crackling light, you do kind of see a hulking form in the corner.
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
that
nice.
starts to move towards you.
Oh, wait. Oh, God, it can move.
So
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
let's go ahead and well, you know what? Let's just keep our same initiatives. No, that's not fair. You guys took a breather and unlocked the door. Let's roll initiative again. Give you a chance to get some different order here. Again, just your initiative rating, no additional dice. And you can change your totals. So yeah, Hamide is now at 2. Nicholas is at 2, it looks like.
I got 2.
I'm at 1.
No.
Yep.
Good proper mixing it around, though.
Yep.
Oh, and I guess I should put him in there, huh?
Are the monster tokens from the artwork as well?
Yes. Those two are the two I've used thus far. Maybe other ones you haven't seen yet. But, let's see.
We all on 2.
Not much. So... Okay.
He's big, isn't he?
He big. He is big. It definitely could be the foot size you were looking for. So yeah, Niklaus is Niklaus and Hamide, I think, both have 3 agility. Is that correct?
2.
Agility.
Oh,
3.
Niklaus is 2. Okay, so actually Hamide is first, Niklaus is second, but you're both. Oh, and Lucian. What's Lucian's agility?
3, I think. Yeah, agility 3.
So yeah, you all essentially go at the same time, but yeah, Lucian
Ladies
is technically
first.
Or no, Lucian and Hamide are at the same time, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we've seen what she could do with that bow.
Okay.
Well, I didn't. I had my back to her.
Right.
Yeah, if
Let me
I saw
see
it, I would
what's
have
making-
denounced her as a combatant soldier from the wars and put her up for war crimes.
Wow.
Well.
There
Are
are
we
more of them.
moving from where we are? Because we didn't really move to go if we were going into the room, or...
Yeah, I mean, it's... Tell you what, before you start moving into the room, I will... Let's see, Nicholas unlocked the door. Frederick was just kind of providing light. I will let the other 3 of you decide where you were standing as Niklaus opened the door. Because you would have had a moment to kind of reposition if you wanted to.
I was in charge of the switches. I retained my place.
Yeah, I'm there too.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have just moved forward a little bit. Just
Okay, yeah,
to
go
see
ahead and
what's
move
what
yourself
that-
forward.
That's all. It's
Okay.
I'm generally just staying with Frederick because he's got a source of light, but I'm staying back enough.
Gotcha.
because, you know, there's one guy
And
there
you
that's
can
just
all-
swinging.
Right. You can all see that there's plenty of light in the next room, so you don't really have to be concerned about staying close to a lantern. So keep that in mind for your decision making. So yeah, I guess the 3 of you can decide how and when you want to move. You 3 are first.
So,
Do we move? Do we retreat?
I don't think you really have time to have that kind of discussion.
No, nothing can survive. So
This thing is heading towards you.
I'm gonna take the full movement. You
25. 5 spaces.
I'm just looking. I've got Trailblazer, so is that to do with during combat?
Yeah.
You may move an additional 10 feet during your turn, and your party does not incur a penalty for traveling off-road. That's something else. So I can move.
So yeah, you actually
7
move
squares?
7 spaces. Yes.
2, 3, 6. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and then just like step back, and then go for a shot. Okay, so my attack. I got a penalty for moving, or was that just?
Yeah, -1.
Okay, so it just stays at 1, right?
Yep.
So 4. That's red dice. Okay. So is that 2
So you
successes
got-
for red?
2 successes. All right. And no defenses. So you get 2 plus your damage for the bow.
So that's 3, so 5.
Nice. At least 3.
Oh, there we go.
No.
That was a
That's-
5, but yeah.
And there was a 1 under it, so a total of
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So. Quick. Yeah, that's 25. All right. So. Oh, okay. So.
Ooh,
Oh,
All right,
nice.
and
Yeah.
it has no armor success. So yeah, you your arrow definitely finds home. Where do you hit it?
I think just by the sheer size, I think the instinct would just be to try and go for the chest.
Yep.
Because obviously it's huge and towering, so it's just straight up shoot. I think the
So
next
yeah,
one-
your arrow thunks solidly into its chest. It's bare chest, I should point out. It is wearing kind of like some kind of like caddy, like threadbare pants. You know, because family.
Yeah.
But it is bare chested.
Aaron,
It has the same kind of incisions on it, and the arrow thunks into the chest and bites deep, but there's no blood or anything. It just thunk. All
This
right.
madman is using bear parts as chests.
A bare chest. Yep, he sure is. Okay, so who is next? Either Lucian or Niklas.
I think it's Lucian.
Yeah, I think so. So how many grids can I move?
5.
5, right.
If you charge it, you can go 7.
I'm not that kind
That's
of
true.
highwayman. So I'll move to here.
Uh-huh.
I will draw one of my pistols, and I will scan the rest of the room to see if there's anything else in here.
So, from that angle, as you scan the room, you do see an open door right over here.
An open door.
That is, yeah, it's open, and the light from the room you're in is kind of spilling out there, but there doesn't appear to be any light in that, whatever it is.
Okay. Is the corpse on the table moving at all?
Oh, it's moving. It's animate, but again, it's just a torso, and it's strapped down.
All right, that's fine then. Okay, so focus on the big guy. Okay, I don't suppose I could take aim, or is that not a thing in this system?
Not. I haven't seen it, so I don't think so. But if you look, let's take a look at your traits. So you do have Dragoon, which is interesting. You can fire 2 pistols on each of your turns. You do not incur a penalty for attack rolls when drawing and attacking with a pistol in the same turn. So that's something to think about.
And the rest of it only applies if I decide to run up this guy's back and try and ride him like a horse.
Correct.
Sounds
Yes.
like a challenge.
Dirty fighting you can only use when you're right next to something. That's kind of like throwing sand in their eye.
Yeah.
You get a bonus for outnumbering a target in melee, but yeah, Dragoon is for your pistols. So you could... Are you still holding one of the lanterns?
No, I handed the lantern off. I'm currently holding the rapier.
You handed
and
you...
the
So
pistol.
you could drop your rapier and literally just pull both of your pistols if you wanted to.
Given the size of this thing, yeah, I think I'll drop the rapier, draw the other pistol, and I'll give it both barrels.
Okay. So yeah, that will be 2 separate attacks for you. You don't get a penalty for having drawn the pistols because of Dragoon. However, you did move, so you will have a -1 penalty on each attack. So that's going to put you at 3 dice for each attack.
Right. And
you're within range, so you're fine there.
And it's white dice.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. So first attack. Oh.
Yay! Exploding dice.
So we're at 2.
Yeah.
Reroll the 6.
3. Nice.
3. Okay. So that'll be 3. Go ahead and roll your second attack too. We'll do all the damage at once just to make it easy.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have to do it separate because of armor.
Right. And the first one might take him down.
It might. So he's still firing both at the same time.
Yeah.
So anyway, re-roll that 6. So you've got 1 success. 2. Re-roll it again. 2. 3 on the second shot as well. So each shot is going to be 3 plus your pistol damage, which I believe is 4.
Do pistol? Yeah, 4.
Okay, so you're rolling 7 damage dice. Well, actually, hang on. Let me roll defense real quick for this guy against both of those. Okay, so that's 6.
Wow.
And that's also... So you're rolling 6 damage dice for each shot.
Right. 6. I can get up to 6. So that's first pistol.
Nice.
Oh,
1,
nice.
2, 3. Okay.
Roll again. Ooh.
1.
Still 1.
All right.
Still good.
So first shot, he takes 1 point of damage. Second shot, he takes no damage. So the first bullet hits him and blows like a chunk of flesh off. Again, no blood, just like chunks. The second bullet literally hits him dead center in his chest and just stops and falls to the ground.
I kind of look at my pistols and go, right, here it is.
All right. So now Niklaus.
I am going to charge. No, I'm going to run off. Charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to get to that side of him so they can shoot him because he's a big lad.
It's a big...
So the charge, I think I read somewhere. Does that give me
+1 damage?
+1,
or +1 to attack, rather. Sorry.
+1 to attack? So my fighting is 5, +1 is 6. What's damage rolls? That's on damage. So that's it, isn't it? 6. Unless I'm looking at that right.
For the attack? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 6. Bring up the dice box. Where's my 16?
So 1, 2,
That's
3.
Yes.
You happy with that, or do you want to spend any fate? Or do you have
The
any
fate gives me.
you have any
no
luck
roll.
left? Luck adds
No.
2 more dice.
I've used it, haven't I? Already?
Oh,
I
that's right. You're a low luck person.
I've got.
You got no luck.
Don't need luck.
So
it's 3 then.
yep. So he's gonna defend unsuccessfully. So you're gonna roll 3 dice, plus your weapon damage, and if you want to use the Doppelsoldner, you can make him black for 1 attack.
Yeah.
Smush him.
So, sorry, how many is that altogether? What did you say? 3?
So 3 plus your weapon.
6. That's 9.
So 9 black dice.
Black dice.
And black, you gotta be, what, more than a 2?
Black is 2 plus is a success. Yeah.
Nice.
Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reroll that 6.
Who's worked out there? Forgot about that.
7. 7 total. All right. Uh-oh.
What about? I've got this mighty blows. You gain a +1 bonus to damage rolls. While
That's already included.
It's already included.
Yep. Okay, so nothing on the reroll. So it defended against 2, so it takes 5 points of damage. But that was a solid hit. You swing
You do
that
the
flail
-1,
around.
the armor.
I did.
Crush it.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
didn't. Hang on, let me re-roll the whole thing. I
What,
didn't.
you roll
You're
better
right.
now? You'll roll better now.
No, I won't let myself roll better.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Better for
Nice.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you delivered.
So,
Nice.
thanks to your ability that we almost forgot about, you deal a significant blow to this thing, and you strike it so hard you knock it down onto one of its knees. But it's still not quite down and out. So, I believe.
Glorious
yeah,
leader will finish it off.
Yep. You definitely have more agility than it does, Jake. So you get to go. Make it count.
Well, you would think. I'm entering the room now. 10. I see this thing.
Mhm.
It's huge, right? And
Yeah.
it's grotesque. And it's down
Yes.
on its knee. And I
Bowing
still
to
only
me.
have now 3 more that I could do. And I don't have any ranged weapons. And as I run towards it, I guess from here I would see, that's 1, 2, 3. I would see that the door is open a bit. And I see what's happening here. Again, I'm going to use my, I don't want to say bonus action. I'll use the proper term for it.
Auxiliary action.
Auxiliary action, thank you. To shout some encouragement again at Nick. Nicholas, great, just take that thing down. Bloody good job. You're in charge of taking him down. And I'm like passing on the charge to you. And I'm gonna then, free action, Frederick, come with me. We must go after the doctor. And I'm going to push past you and go in, and I could actually stop there.
Okay.
Because I see the door open, so I'm going to rush off after the doctor.
Sure.
After giving the orders. And I don't know if if I could use a double movement as an action or not in this system, because I really didn't take an action to shoot.
You can.
All right, so then I'm going to head towards that door, 5, 10, 15, 20, and I would get to the open door, and I just kind of want to see, is the doctor there? Is what's going through? There's light coming through there.
Well, no, the light is spilling out into that area.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
But I still have the lantern anyways.
So what you see with your lantern is you see a rough passage that goes both directions. This is clearly the remnants of an old sewer or aqueduct.
All right.
And no sign of the doctor.
Right, I end my turn here.
All right. So that brings us then to our big friend, who is going to strike at the closest thing to it, which is our friend Niklaus.
Do you want to surrender?
No. No, he does not. All right, so you will go ahead and roll your defense dice. You can do that now if you like.
Where will I find what I roll for my defense? Is it tough?
So no, it's defense is your skill. Do you have defense as a skill? I believe you do. At least a little bit.
The trait or
no
skill on page 1.
No. Athletics,
okay.
Fighting, Grit, Intimidate, Pitlock, Stealth.
If you don't have the actual skill, then you just roll agility.
So I've got 2.
So go ahead and roll your 2 agility. I try to figure out. Okay, 1 success. Well, I try to figure out what he's rolling. Okay.
Is he just using his fists, or has he got a weapon?
Yeah. No, he's just using his fists.
I believe, though, because of what I shouted out, he has a +2 to defense.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Roll 2 additional dice, Britt. Jake is 100% correct.
Might be useful for me, so I'm just going to roll those 2 dice again.
So, not helpful, unfortunately, but that is good to have. So, he rolled 5. So, you rolled 1 success, so that brings it down to 4. And then he rolls 5 damage dice, which unfortunately are red.
Got 1 armor. Do I roll that after you've rolled your damage?
Okay, so you have choices, right? So we'll wait and see after I roll the damage. But you're either going to defend with your armor, or remember you've got that ignore pain ability. So if this is a big hit, you might want to use that instead. But let's see where we're at. 9 red dice.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's not looking good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reroll the 6. 7. 7 damage. So yeah, you can either roll your armor, which is 1 die, or you can do 4 black dice for your ignore pain ability.
Oh, let me think.
All right.
Go with the black.
So 1, 2. So that brings the damage down to 5. As this thing just brings its hands up above its head, still in a kneeling position. It's still taller than you, and swings the arms down. You try to kind of get out of the way, but it gets you on one of your shoulders as you kind of dodge to the side. All right.
What did you say? 5 damage was that?
Yeah, so you take 5 points of damage.
I thought I do on 2s with black dice. Am I wrong?
Oh, it is 2s. Did I misread that? What was it? It should still be in your tray.
2, 2, and 5 and a 5.
Oh no! So yeah. So sorry, you take 3 points of damage. Black is 2+. My bad.
So I still take 3 points of damage. Yeah.
3. That's better than 5.
Yeah.
I've got more of a shoulder left.
Right. It's
comes
not
off
completely
grit.
dislocated, right? Yeah, that comes off of your grid. Okay.
So I'm down to 5.
So Frederick also is not going to be able to help much on his turn. He's basically just going to be able to follow after his, his leader. But you see, he comes into the room and stops for a second right at the door, like, "What in the world is that?" And then continues after Palzani. All right,
Wow.
That brings us back to the top. He doesn't have ranged weapons either. He couldn't get to him.
Okay.
Pardon me.
We'll hopefully finish this fight, and then we'll be done.
No.
Could be our first kill. Did you think he was gonna kill Niklaus?
Well,
Could have.
yeah. Yeah,
Niklaus
so,
is tough.
to be honest, I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know which one's health, but yeah, the numbers seem very low.
I've
They
been
are
reading
low.
this as
Yeah,
a very
you can take
deadly
big
game.
hit. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm going to obviously carry on shooting, but for this one, I am going to use Bullseye.
Okay.
Bullseye trait.
Thought you might.
So it's rolling.
So you attack
Black
and damage with
dice.
black,
Yes, and it ignores
and
armor.
ignores armor. Right.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wait, how many?
So all I get to roll for him is his defense.
So I get my 5 black dice because I haven't moved.
Which is a single success.
Wow.
2 successes.
Ooh. You want to spend a luck point? You get 2 more dice. They are also black.
They're replenished every session, aren't they?
They do, yes. And you have a lot of luck, if I recall correctly.
No, I only have 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought, who did I give 4 luck? Oh, that's Lucian, right? Lucian's all about the luck.
Right.
3? Oh,
Okay, so I've got
Alright.
2 successes, so I rolled 2
But it
more
does
dice.
refresh. Yep.
You gave him 1 less luck than the number of fingers he has
2, 3, 4,
on one hand.
5 successes.
5. 5, so you're rolling longbow damage plus 5, all on black,
8.
and he gets no armor.
6, 7.
Finish him.
2 6s. Yes.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and re-roll the 2 6s. 7.
Oof.
So
7.
yeah, 7 is still going to be enough. So why don't you describe for me how you take down this beast?
He's come up. He's just hit Niklaus. So I think in that moment he is down. So it's like taking a shot because he's more down to the level where I normally shoot. So I would imagine
I
a
see.
shot straight.
Ugh.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've shot straight through the forehead in his head.
Okay. And yeah, as your arrow flies and kind of hits in the temple, apparently maybe there was some work done on the brain area because there is a seam there, and your arrow actually manages to find that seam perfectly and just fly straight into the thing's head, and it slumps to the ground in front of Niklaus while the Wiederganger on the table just continues snapping and looking at all of you. And wow, so you've dropped the massive beast. I think maybe that's probably a good place to stop for today.